Hey loves, welcome to The Quick Tip.
I'm your host, Dejada.
And I'm Kamisha, and we are a part of the team at Sista Afya Community Mental Wellness in Chicago. The Quick Tip is a podcast where we discuss relatable topics in Black women's mental wellness.
We provide thoughtful reflections, quick tips, and leave you with some things to take action on to improve your mental wellness.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the podcast.
Welcome everyone back to the Quick Tip Podcast. My name is Kamisha.
I'm Dejada.
And I'm April.
Today we are going to be talking about navigating parenting as a Black mom. There's a saying that says no one knows what it's like to be a parent until you become one. Within that, there are so many nuggets of wisdom and support that parents can utilize as they are raising their children. Today, we have the opportunity to hear from April Threatt, a therapist at Sista Afya who specializes in maternal mental health and helping Black moms navigate motherhood. We'll be asking April all of our burning questions about parenting and how we can support Black mothers from a mental health perspective. So just a little bit about April. She is a qualified mental health professional who serves as a therapist at Sista Afya. She specializes in servicing women and adults. She empowers her clients to understand various factors in their lives that contribute to their unhappiness. She is committed to being compassionate and present with her clients as they discover their inner strengths to bring about desired change. Her approach is person-centered, and she believes that building relationships with clients is essential in therapy in order to assist them in working through issues, overcoming obstacles, and becoming the best version of themselves. April received her master's in community agency counseling from St. Xavier University at Chicago. Welcome, April, to the Quick Tip Podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Can you tell us a little about yourself and why you believe mental health of Black mothers is so important?
Yes. Well, thank you for that intro. That was very beautiful. And I thank you guys for having me on today. But I'm also that quirky sis, April. I'm a legacy of Sheila Elaine, who was my first counselor, my number one supporter, my mother. And I'm a mother, I'm a sister, I'm an auntie, I'm a godmother, and I'm a friend. And yes, I am a clinician that's very passionate about working with mothers, Black mothers, working moms. And so I think that is very important to provide that support and connect and support the healthy journey of our mothers. So that's a little bit about me, clinician, and also I'm a mom.
Yeah. Can you tell us what your experience has been like navigating parenthood as a Black mom?
Okay. Well, navigating parenthood. Well, let's take it back before becoming a parent. It was just about self. I wanted to attend college, and I did that. I wanted to go out. I did that. I wanted to go back to college and change my career, and I did that. And everything I did because that's what I wanted to do. But journey into a parent or becoming a parent, that journey itself of becoming a parent, pregnancy, I did that without my mom. So that right there was different for me. And then becoming a mom in my focus and everything becoming not just about me, myself, but this human being that depends totally on me, to protect, to provide security and safety. But all along with that, that's a scary journey for me. So it's like, how do I protect myself? How do I mother myself? How do I navigate the things for myself so I can be the best her? So parenthood is something that, it's a club, but it's also involved in our community, our Black community, to have support of others in the community to help to lean on, to grow. So I have maternal figures that have been very supportive and people in my community that I wouldn't think that would be a part of this journey. The father of my child has fathered other children, and so we're very close, the mother. So it's something that I would take on, but it is scary, and I'm okay to open and say that, and I encourage others to be able to say that as well.
Mm-hmm. What are some experiences that Black mothers have that are unique to being a parent to a Black child and being a Black parent?
Okay. It could cross over cross boards, but focusing on Black moms, I would say number one is trying to mask the need to have to mask that you're having challenges, that you are struggling, that there's some issues, inner issues or childhood traumas that you have experienced yourself, and then also having to be a parent, not wanting to ask for help, afraid to ask for help, or maybe the lack of knowledge of what resources are out there to support a healthy journey into parenting. And then also old school, new school, unlearning some things of how to parent, now this gentle parenting versus traditional, I know I'm not giving my age, but, I know old school, but then you want to change it up and it's okay. So being able to be surrounded by a community or get connected with those resources, it's important to have. And some single moms or going through transitions of blended families. So it's different. It's a lot of different challenges, but I'm sure we are able to work through it, and that's one of the things about Black mothers too. We're able to challenge through those things, but also want to provide that support that when it's hard to challenge, it's okay. We can navigate that when you come across a challenge.
Why do you think these challenges are unique to Black mothers?
Why do you think the challenges are unique to Black moms? Well, we're raising children. Sometimes there's forced to make sure you're raising a child that's going to behave. And so look that our children could be wild or so, but that's not the case. This is stereotypes that's put on to Black mothers of how are they raised at home because families are blended, because it's a single parent home, because there's an absence of a father or absent of a mother, because they're absent of generational supports. And, it's just a lot of stress on right now. And guess what? Our demographics of what's happening, the safety of our children, whether we're raising male sons or daughters, that, they go out in the community. Our Black families are targeted. Our children are targeted. They have been the source of crime, hate crimes, race, violence. And so that can be challenging to Black mothers to, how do I protect my child after they leave outside my doors? How do I place my child into a school or daycare and go to work, but I'm not there to make sure and ensure that they're safe? What type of education? The communities maybe not having all the resources to provide the education for our child. So it's a lot of different challenges. We're working through a lot of oppressions that may not be seen in other demographics. So it's just a truth that's out there. But that's some of the things that our single moms, that are parents, whole families, we just have to deal with that just based on our community, our area. This is South Side of Chicago where we're in.
Thank you for sharing that, April. Like, there are some things that universally different parents are dealing with, and then there are things that we're dealing with in the Black community that affect parenting that are cultural and historical at the same time. And then, of course, we know where we live, right? Like being in Chicago, there are also additional challenges that can impact parenting. And so one thing I'm excited about, in terms of the work that you're doing, but also what's happening across the country, is a focus on maternal health and a focus on maternal mental health. I think for a long time, the mental health of mothers was something that was kind of put on the back burner or not even really thought about. But now people are speaking out. People are saying that mothers need additional support. Mothers need a particular kind of care. And so I would love for you to really just talk about, what is maternal mental health, and also how can maternal mental health, or focusing on it, how can it help Black women individually as moms, but also with parenting?
Yes. So, well, first off, maternal health, mental health, the maternal health part is during the period when the mom is pregnant, also when she gives birth, and then the postpartum period. And during those stages, that's a lot of adjusting for the mom being pregnant. Her body's changing. The the look into the future has to change on what you're able to do now that you'll be bringing a child in. And during childbirth, that is a lot of adjustment or care, wanting to make sure that you receive the proper care when you're giving birth, the hospital, and then postpartum. Now you've come home, now your family's expanded. How does life now? Like, what is moving forward looks like. So for Black mothers, in our nation, just period, mortality rates are very high in US, and then our Black mothers mortality rates are even higher. And in the work that I've done and exploring, just to see those numbers, it's disheartening, it's painful, but it's a fact. And that's something that, it doesn't matter of your income, it doesn't matter if you have the right insurance, it still impacts. Our Black mothers have the higher mortality rates. So the Black maternal mental health, it focuses and bring attention to providing that support to mothers, care, resource to health care, the journey of understanding what those adjustments, how that affects you, mentally, focus, also learning how to take care of yourself. So there's a lot of things that goes into why maternal mental health should be a focus, and what are some of the things that it addresses. Also, one of the things I want to say that um, and the reason why the numbers are high, because Black mothers aren't heard, feel like they're doesn't have a voice, or there's racism or microaggressions inside the hospital settings. It's been said that Black moms, or mothers, we have thick skin, but guess what? We hurt, we bleed, we need that care, we need that attention, and after giving birth, just this may be a little bit outside, but just last week, a gold Olympic medalist, Tori Bowie, she died at 32 from childbirth complications. And I'm like, this is sad that this is still happening. We talk about violence things, but the mortality rates of our Black women is still very high and needs more attention as well. I think I kind of went on a tangent, but you guys know the passion speaks for itself. We can talk all day.
And how can focusing on the mental health of mothers, how can that help them with parenting and navigating parenting?
Say that again.
How can the focusing on the mental health of mothers, how can it help with navigating parenting?
Okay, so with one of the things I had shared earlier is that moms sometimes have to unlearn some things. So you look at some challenges that comes up in first time moms is your experiences as a mother, or when you were a child, some of those childhood traumas come up. So being able to work with clients in identifying those, understanding, learning how to unlearn, grow, heal from something, so that you could be full and able to support your child, and as well as communicating, learning how to communicate, learning how to be mindful of what you say, to your child with parenting. We say we want to treat others how we want to be treated, so we learning those skill sets, so how to change that dynamics of talking, and also with the parenting, the different styles. I spoke about old school versus new school, having to unlearn some of the ways that we were raised, that may not fit the case right now, and also being able to affirm new mothers in their beliefs, in their experiences, in the way that they choose to change the dynamics of their family moving forward, but separating from the past trauma, acknowledging, holding space for that, but learning new ways, and now you're creating the path that you want for your family. So being able to support and guide that. Yes, we have our community, we have our friends, we have mother, maternal figures, but also it's okay to seek professional support with that as well. Some problem solving skills, some coping techniques, because if you heard of PWB, Parenting While Black, it's like, whoa, you need a breather, but just to learn how to get through that. So, and mental health is important to assess for yourself, myself as well. That was something I learned too. When I became a parent, like, whoa, there's some things that I need to do differently, and it's okay. And it's always, and giving yourself grace to learn, to understand those things, not to pass judgment, not to feel guilty, and not to shame the clients. And I think it's important to have inclusive, to work with, to be present as a resource, that the clients want to work with someone that feels like they get it, they understand.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing, April. I really appreciate that. April is one of my close friends. I've seen her mother, and I think you're doing an amazing job. And I want to ask, just overall, because we're both moms, how do you feel that we can be better supported as Black moms navigating parenting?
Well, I love that you said we're friends, and that means community. connecting with others, linking to one another, uplifting one another, encouraging one another. So having that focus of wanted to build the support, because our Black communities, we don't believe in isolation of family. We don't believe in doing things alone. We have had to do that, but that came at a fault because we didn't have the support. We didn't have the community. But so we do lean on each other. So I think how we support is to connect, to share, have those conversations, check on your friend that just had a child, check on a classmate, a colleague, a coworker that's preparing for maternity leave. Like, check on with them, ask those questions. And if you are those individuals I just spoke of, ask someone for support, or identify your support. I love this mod community pod mapping. Identify who's around you, people you know individually, people you learn through work, people who may be in your religious spaces or social spaces, or if you have children that are older and in programming, connect with those moms. So it's really about community, connecting, sharing. And then, because I'm very passionate about it, I'm also looking at, well, who are the change makers, trying to get connected with them, understanding, attending conferences, trying to learn more about the path that I'm in, because I do want to provide that support belly to belly, but I also want to learn what's happening outside of me, because it's bigger than me, it's bigger than Sista Afya, it's bigger than our city. It's such a bigger picture, and there's bills that we're trying to get passed, or things that need to be passed to bring that attention to maternal health, Black maternal health, and our mental wellness of our Black moms.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna tell y'all, April's really speaking the truth. She's a part of. Can you share more? Because I can't really recall the full name. Can you share more about the board that you sit on when it comes to maternal health, and how the people in higher positions ensure Black mothers are getting resources?
Yes. So I'm on a community alignment board with through Ep.5 with Family Connect Chicago, and Family Connect Chicago is backed by Illinois Department of Health. Chicago, it's a when I say change makers, they're trying to bridge the gap of disparities with Black mortality or morbidity. And so there's a couple of hospitals that this is a program with in-house nursing that comes out to visit the mom once she's delivered, once she's gone home, to check on her well-being, her health, the safety of the child, and connect to resources, whether there's changing tangible resources of helping them support, provide formula, care, car seats, or mental health resources, child care, connect those things. And as the part of the board, I'm a part of the community mental health organization that can be a resource provided as well to them. So that's great to be in that setting. And they look to find out, what do we need to do? The Department of Health is asking, what do we need to do? And in order to get that information, they're asking the community organizations, myself, and there's quite a few other organizations that, not myself, but Sista Afya and quite a few other organizations, of what is needed in your community. What are moms are asking for? How can we help that? What do you need? And so resources are out there. There may be a lack of knowledge of those resources, but again, sparking those conversations, finding out, connecting with other organizations, so that way we can understand how can our organizations align so that we can provide that support to the community, or have an opportunity to share our resources to that community, that organization, so that they can share with their clients. It's a community build, and that's the vision behind Sista Afya too, of community wellness. Like, we focus on connecting with all communities around us to provide that support to those in need.
Yeah. Do you have any resources that you can share that the listeners can tap into to learn more about maternal mental health and where they can just get support?
Yes, one was, I did say, Illinois Department of Health, to even just find out what is the state of our state itself with mortality, morbidity rates, to see those numbers, just so I said it was disheartening, but if you see those numbers, it's like, wow, something has to happen. Or if it sparks a change, something has to happen. That's one. SIDS, which is a sudden infant death syndrome services, in Illinois, connecting with that resource as well, because, our Black moms, Black families, we sleep with our babies in the bed, and that's, that is not safe. And it really isn't. And that's something to, needed to just educate, to change, make those changes. That can also prevent mortality rates in our infant children. Also, you have Thrive, which is the organization that with birth, deals with birth equity. We have also in the state of Illinois, Hear Her campaign. It supports parents or moms to feel comfortable, to feel safe to talk about the challenges that they're having through parenthood, through Connect to Healthcare Services. You have Family Connect Chicago, Chicago BirthWorks. Oh, and then we have, you guys hear me get excited, right? Then we have Chicago Southside Birthing Center, which is the first birthing center here on the South Side of Chicago. Okay. And so they also support having low risk birth options, trying to help navigate how you get more in control of how you want to give birth, the style, they have a parenting plan, but this is taking a step further. The people's doula supports, our mother's light, that's another doula support. So there's quite a few things. And also, if you look on Sista Afya, we have, supports and resource and programming for geared towards moms, just to have that time for themselves, to take some nuggets from our workshops that we have, virtual workshops, some of our groups, our social events. Just take time out for yourself, but also some nuggets to continue as you navigate motherhood and community. There's a space where you can connect with other moms from Chicagoland area and maybe build your own community. So a little bit of our resources there, but there's so many out there.
Yeah, April. A couple of those resources that she shared, I know they are geared toward like birth, pretty much birth or postpartum. But I know like with Chicago BirthWorks, their doula organization, they also provide events for mother and children or father and children. Like I know they do like a party night where it's like a karaoke night, and it's like the kids and the parents. They also have like a fatherhood connect, where you like sit down, have a conversation with other fathers. So definitely look into these resources, whether or not you are currently a birthing person or not, because there are just so many other things and relationships that can come from these resources.
Yes, absolutely.
And we'll tag a lot of these resources in the show notes. So, or you can like pause and then go back and write them all down. But we got y'all. We're going to put the resources there. So, April, you have a workshop coming up focusing on co-parenting. So our on the couch question is a question that comes from the audience. And so Cindy asks, how can I protect my mental health while co-parenting?
Ooh, I love when I said that PWB. That's one to help you take a moment and break and pause. Parenting while Black, you need to breathe. You need to step away if that's the best. Well, that is the best thing, to step away for a moment. Communicate with your child. We provide support to moms, helping you understand what your needs are and identify those needs outside of being a mom. Now, what you can take that as in parenting is acknowledge your child, what their needs are, what they're expressing right now. Let them be heard. Then that, okay, I hear you. Understand. Again, it's bringing in that gentle parenting. Talk to them, communicate, and less focused on I want to do this for my child, or do not do this for my child, and then just change it to teach your child, explore with your child, show them, be an example. And that way they're able to achieve, they're able to reach. So it's about changing our authoritarian, just like this is how it goes, setting things play out and open it up to explore with the child, understand, take a moment for yourself. Need a moment? That's okay. And it doesn't require age. You can even talk to an infant like, "I mommy needs a moment right now." Start early with saying like, "Ooh, I need to take a breather," or this is a bit much. But then as you have that communication, they understand, they receive. You can hear your baby like, "Oh, you're having a moment right now." Start speaking, start talking, because history, some of our generations, we didn't have the emotions. We didn't know how to express ourselves, or it wasn't shown love. But let's normalize loving our children, loving ourselves, loving the people around us, and receiving that love. And guess what? If you don't know, our workshop, our parenting, co-parenting, you can to be able to attend and take some of those nuggets on how do I do that. And when I have that break, when child is gone with the other parent, what am I going to do at this time? Learn some of those tools of what to do with that time, how to take care of yourself. Maybe not even have an agenda. Maybe that moment you don't even have an agenda. That's okay.
Because
I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, definitely take that break, because mom be having agendas. We be like, this has to be here, this has to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm that type of person, like, I really want my apartment to be in a certain state. And I'm realizing, like, I have a child and that can't happen, because if I'm like, I need a clean apartment, I'm gonna take creativity away from my child. My child isn't gonna want to play with his toys as much because of my reaction to his toys being everywhere. So that's very true. And it also makes me more stressed out. But allowing my child to, well, taking away that unrealistic idea that I want my apartment to always be clean, it helps me be less stressed and gives him more room to be creative. I mean, there's still the rule of like, do not draw on a wall, draw on paper. It becomes less stressful. And just to see him smiling because he can run around and drive his little car, it also makes me feel good. So yeah, thank you, April, for sharing your tips and your answering that question from Cindy.
Yes. Man.
Yes. So we always close out with some quick tips. So April, if you could just share some quick tips about navigating parenting as a Black mom. The Jada as well. I'm not a Black mom. I do have maybe some advice that could be helpful, but y'all the experts. So I'll let y'all take it from here. So April, any quick tips about navigating parenting as a Black mom?
Self-care. Still try to create time for self-care, and it doesn't mean monetary. You gotta go pay for nails, feed, all of those things, but maybe just time for yourself. And one way I like to look at is the 5 dimensions. Self-care, just intellectual. What are you reading? Maybe incorporate some things you love to read, watch, or so. That's for yourself. Social, connecting with friends, connecting with those in your community. Emotional, like identify what's your emotional needs. Like I shared, like, oh, I need a moment. What are your emotional needs? And being able to identify those and stay in tune, checking in with that is part of self-care. Also your physical health, movement, action, or just taking care of your medical needs, doctor's appointments. We take care of the family, you still take care of yourself. That's a part of self-care. So looking out, and then spiritual or religious, having time for yourself to meditate, to have quiet time or prayer, whatever your faith base is. So I think I named about 5 of those 5 dimensions, but the self-care, and it not being a monetary, but something that's practical, that is realistic for you, and that will help you support yourself while parenting. Taking care of yourself is important as well.
I like that tip. My quick tip is to openly receive support that is here for you and that's offered for you. Mm-hmm. I know oftentimes we can be like, no, I'm good, and we aren't. So
that's
definitely, yes, drop the mask. We are people. We are humans. Drop the mask, accept the help because you need it. Okay? I know that's me. So definitely just be open to receiving support.
Yes.
My quick tip was actually going to be the same thing, Jada, like reaching out for support. I know we always talk about the strong Black woman schema, which is kind of starting to get, starting to get worn out talking about it, but I think it is important that it's okay to ask for help. And help may be there, but we may not be exercising ourselves to be able to accept that help, because we can't do it all on our own. And there are resources, just like what April mentioned, and then internal resources that we can use to be able to get the support that is needed for parents, and particularly Black mothers. Yeah. So thank you so much, April, for being a part of the Quick Tip podcast.
Thank you.
One thing I'll share is that at Sista Afya, we do have maternal mental health events. Just about every month, something along those lines. And some are virtual and some are in person. So if you're listening to this podcast and you're in Atlanta, like, you can join some of our virtual workshops. And if you're in Chicago or in Illinois, April and the maternal mental health team have so many great events lined up for the year. So we are part of helping you through this process as a mother. And I really appreciate, and I'll just shout out Dejada. Dejada was like our first person who really brought up maternal mental health, at Sista Afya. And just to see where it is today, like, I'm appreciative of you, Dejada, for actually spearheading this. And now the legacy continues and mothers are getting more support. So I definitely am grateful that you took the reins and said that this is something that we need to focus on. And I appreciate you.
Yes, I appreciate you too.
And thank you, April, for keeping it going. Yes.
Can I say thank you to you, Kamisha, as well? Like, when you hired, I just shared a vision of wanting to always work with moms, with working mothers. And you, as a leader, you took that vision and helped support to help create this. So, you opened the foundation to continue to build and grow. So I appreciate that so much. Thank you. Like, this is absolutely wonderful. I'm so passionate, and I'm grateful for you, grateful for your leadership, grateful for you, Dejada, for being on the team there. And, just, I love you guys. That's all.
Yes. Well, thank you all so much for tuning into another episode of the Quick Tip podcast. We will have more episodes coming out about the Black family. So tune in, continue to listen every week. And as always, take care of all of you and be well.
Thank you for tuning in to the Quick Tip podcast with Sista Afya. Stay connected with us by following us on Instagram and Facebook at Sista Afya. Join us for one of our upcoming groups, classes, or workshops, and sign up for therapy if you're an Illinois resident at www.sistaafya.com/services. And if you enjoyed this episode, do us a favor and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We greatly appreciate you for being a part of our community, and we look forward to connecting with you soon. Take care.